conservative, a patriot. I mean, of course, her husband, her late
American.
husband.
Just
Rush. That was he was the inventor, I
Yeah.
guess you could say, of conservative talk radio. And I can remember dialing that in, going down the road when I knew I had a long drive and just sitting and just
listening.
Yep.
And there's so much, and I hate to really get into a lot before we get her on the phone, but she can trace her ancestry back to the Mayflower.
That's pretty cool stuff.
I mean, who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just unreal. And I'm amazed at some of the things that I've read about her, trying to study up just a little bit. Everybody knows Rush.
Mm-hmm.
When you say the name Rush. Not everybody knows Kathryn.
Right.
And she is.
I have a clip. Would y'all
Okay.
want
Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely want to hear it. If you've got a clip, let's play it.
of Rush Limbaugh?
Rush. Okay.
It is time we speak out, folks,
That's his
and
voice.
support
Yep.
our heroes again. Law and order, safety in our cities and towns should be top priority for all Americans, and appreciation for those on the front lines should never waver. These people put their lives at risk, their families at risk. They're not paid anywhere near the top of the pay scale in America, and yet they do it. They all volunteer. They all have to pass rigorous tests to become uniformed police.
That's the truth.
Oh yeah, he hit it right on the nail head.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't describe this line of work any better.
Mm-mm. No, that's
with
right.
Nobody. If you ever have a conversation with a law enforcement officer and he says, "I'm doing this because of the money," he's lying. to
Yeah,
you.
you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, we don't do it. We don't do it for the money. We do
It's and you talking about being under a fine screen microscope. Your lives are. I mean, everybody's watching what you do at all times.
totally different than
Yeah.
what it was 20 years ago. I started my career in 1992, and just the past 34 years, I mean, it's totally different.
We have. I'm blessed to have law enforcement officers in my family, and I pray for them every night, every day, because of what they go into. You never know what you're going into whenever the day starts. So yeah, I agree with Rush 100% on that. And some of the topics he talked about touched a lot of people. Some of it were touchy too. I mean, it just depends. But when it come down to it, he was a true American. I mean,
For sure.
a true patriot. One of the things I watched one of his shows, and it was saying that he had made the comment that he has nothing against people trying to come to America to better themselves. Everyone wants to be better, but if you're coming to America to better yourselves, you need to be here to love America.
Exactly.
And love what America is.
Exactly. And he was an entertaining voice too.
Yes.
To listen on the radio.
That's right.
It wasn't the same monotone, put you to sleep driving down the road. He had such an entertaining show. When you would tune in, and you're right. He bled conservative values.
Yes. How old were you think, when you started listening? She's on the phone? Oh, that's
ready for her?
I'm ready.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's get her to the phone.
Hello, Kathryn?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, it's just a great day in Lawrence County, Tennessee. How's things in your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm in Tennessee as well. I've been doing a lot of projects in Tennessee recently, so I'm not too far from you.
Yeah. Mark, we was just having a conversation.
That's right. Kathryn, very nice to meet you. My name's Mark. I'm the morning show DJ here. So, but welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the phone with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
And we were talking earlier. Everyone, when you say the name Rush Limbaugh, everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. But when they say Kathryn, everybody says, "Oh, that's Rush's wife." But I read up on you last night. The things that you've gone through, the things that you've done in your life is amazing. I mean, when you trace your ancestry all the way back to the Mayflower, and you're in a direct descendant of John Adams and John Quincy Adams, that's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for studying up on me.
Yeah.
That is very nice of you to do.
I was amazed at everything that I found, and even going back to the Naval Academy graduate. I mean, I was in awe at everything you've done. So this is great, and a established author.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's great to be with you this morning, and I know that the sheriff is there as well. And it's nice to see you both or talk to you both.
Well, it's how did you meet Mr. Sheriff John Myers?
Yeah, well, I've been doing some work in the Tennessee area, and some friends of mine had been working with Sheriff John for some years now, and knew him, and he was nice enough to help me with a couple of things that we were working on from a police and sheriff standpoint. And we got to talk and get to know each other a little bit. And I've just been so impressed with his work ethic and how genuine a person he is. I got to know more about his story and how he became interested in becoming the sheriff, and it really just touched my heart, because there's not always people who are extremely genuine in elected office. So when we come upon them, I always like to take note, and the sheriff is certainly that.
Well, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
You better say thank you.
It doesn't happen very often, but thank you for all that, Miss Kathryn.
That's absolutely true. We were actually talking just a short bit ago, a week or so ago, and I was asking him why he went into law enforcement and why he is a sheriff, and he was explaining to me that really it's about service to the community, and it's about protecting everyone who lives there, and that really meant something to me. I know you all played a clip about Rush talking about how much we have always loved our law enforcement and military because of the work that you all do and the sheriff leads. It's something extraordinary. Not many people would put themselves in harm's way for others, but our police and the sheriff and the military do that, and I just have such profound respect and wanted to come on and simply say, firstly, thank you to the sheriff and to all of our law enforcement and military for the service that you all provide, and really just to thank you all.
Well, thank you again for saying that, Kathryn. I'm going to brag on you just a little bit, since you was just bragging on me. You know, we had, I don't know, I guess it was probably a 20 or 30 minute conversation a couple of weeks ago when we were on a flight, and it was just to have a conversation with you and to talk. And I mean, we talked everything from law enforcement to politics to conservative values and what it means to be an American, and it was like having a conversation with somebody from Lawrence County.
Yeah.
You're such a genuine person, and it was a joyful conversation. You know, when you can sit down and have a conversation from everything from, like I said, law enforcement to politics, and law enforcement and politics do walk hand in hand now, you know. But just to have that conversation with somebody that you just met, and it's an entertaining conversation too, you know, it's not a boring conversation. But yeah, it was you're such a true person, and it's nice to have to have somebody close to you that shares the same values, the same beliefs.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I feel the same about you. I really appreciate that.
I don't know if we can discuss much about where we met, but we were actually together out in Utah for the Tyler Robinson hearing that they had. And that was it 4 days, Kathryn?
Yes.
I think it was. Right after the 4th of July, and then we flew back midweek. And that's a really long story. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of layers to that one right there. But the last day when we were coming back is where we probably had the most conversation. But
Yes.
it was some
And
good
we
conversation.
were together in Utah for that very important case, and the sheriff was so wonderful and so supportive and helpful with all of that. And unfortunately, it was a very difficult time, but thanks to the sheriff, it was made much smoother and better. But we did get the opportunity to talk about Lawrence County. I'm so interested in smaller towns and regions in our country. I know that Rush always said this, and I say this as well, is that small towns in America is really what makes our country so incredibly great. So your community is symbolic of that to me. So we were talking a lot about Lawrence County and really the people there and what you stand for and what you believe in, and it really aligns with what I do as well. We love hardworking Americans that care about our country, that care about faith, that care about patriotism, that care about our flag, and the sheriff was explaining to me that that's very much symbolic of your area there. And we were talking, of course, as well about the sheriff's background and being the sheriff, and the day, of course, today being early voting and an election coming up. He didn't ask me to be here. I volunteered because I wanted to say that it's very rare to come across people who genuinely care about others, specifically in the election arena. And it's important to me that we put people into office, whether it's at a local level or at a national level, who truly, genuinely care. And that is the sheriff, in my opinion. So his background, his care for your community, the values that he aligns with, his family support is all wonderful, and I think people should take note.
Yeah, that's right.
We got to get you down here now. That's the next step, Kathryn. I'm officially inviting you to Lawrence County, Tennessee.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I would love to. I have fallen in love with Tennessee. I'm originally from New England, but I live in Florida a good majority of the time. But I've been doing projects in Tennessee and have absolutely fallen in love with the people here and everything about Tennessee. So I would love to. I'd be honored to come and visit.
Well, we've got, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Rush get his start with small town radio?
Yes, he did, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's something that was always so near and dear to his heart. He started with small town radio and really always continued with radio because of that start. He never went out to satellite or some of the larger broadcasting networks. He was always so passionate about local radio, and never wanted to leave that, because he felt as though local small town radio is really what started him. So he and I both love local radio and love privately owned local radio stations.
Now, do you have a problem with getting up real early in the mornings?
Oh, goodness, no. Anybody who knows me knows that I started about 3 a.m.
Well, see there.
It's a norm.
There you go. Then that means I don't have a problem.
I'm a morning person. I'm happy to.
If you do make it to Lawrence County, then that means you've got to come to the morning show. Okay.
Of course,
All right.
absolutely.
That'd be great.
And I will come bearing gifts. I'll bring coffee and anything you all like.
We'll get Amish sweet corn and
We'll do something.
Green beans.
Well, something. That's right. That's right.
Oh yes, no, you have to tell me all about it. I love to learn about places that I visit. So please do. The more you tell me about, the more I love to hear.
Well, that's don't. Am I correct in saying, Mark, that we have the largest old order Amish community?
I believe so.
I don't know if it's the state or the southeast,
I think so.
but we have a large population, Kathryn, of the old order Amish here.
Oh wow!
And people come from all over North Alabama, North Mississippi, Kentucky, all across the state to grocery shop here.
Yeah.
From the Amish. and you'll see trailer loads of sweet corn and beans and everything else, anything you would imagine.
Yeah.
They have it here. So when you do, I won't say if, but when you do, plan on staying for a while and doing some shopping. I'll give you the grand tour of the Amish community.
You'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it. That's for sure.
I would love that. Actually, I was talking a little bit to the sheriff about that. I think we possibly are going to do an event together or possibly a tour, and I would love to do that at the same time. So that would be wonderful.
It is great. And you mentioned Lawrence County as far as how patriotism works and how much people are around here, how much they love America and love the flag. The 4th of July just come through. Was it 250 years we just celebrated?
Yeah.
And I listened to a thing with you, I believe it was on Fox News, and you were talking about the 250 year thing and how Rush had made the comment too about how if you come to America, he doesn't have a problem with people coming to America at all, about making their lives better, wanting the American dream. But if you come here to love America, isn't that right?
Oh, that's 100% right. Rush absolutely loved immigrants 100%, but he also believed very much in legal immigration. He was against illegal immigration, as I'm sure the sheriff would appreciate. But he very much thought that if you come to the United States and if you call yourself an American, you absolutely should love our flag and be patriotic and really revere in the freedoms that we all get to hold near and dear. It's such a incredible country, such a miraculous country with an incredible founding, and yes, it's so important to not lose sight of that we live in an incredible, miraculous country where our freedoms are really in large part because of our law enforcement and because of our military, and we should never forget that.
That's exactly right.
Ain't it great to live in Tennessee?
You better believe it. And I'll tell you that there's no place. I couldn't wait when I grew up at some in Nashville. I moved to Lawrence County at a young age, and I couldn't wait. When I moved to Lawrence County, I said, when I graduated high school, I'm out of here. I said, I just can't do this. I got to have the city. I married 3 kids, been married 31 years, and I love Lawrence County. There's no place like home.
Yeah, and you don't realize how much you miss it until you leave.
Yeah, that's right.
And it doesn't take long to miss it, especially when you get out in some of these other states that aren't as patriotic as Tennessee is. I can remember being out in California when I was stationed out there for a little while, and I was.
Oh, you all have convinced me. I may need to move to Lawrence County.
There you go. I'll tell you something though, Miss Kathryn. They and here in Lawrence County, if somebody has a problem, if there's somebody's home gets damaged, if there's a tornado or something comes through, everybody gets together and helps everybody out, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it means a lot. It means a lot. And I've noticed that not only that, but you've done a lot helping other people too, have you not?
Oh, thank you. Yes, we've always for many years supported a lot of organizations, but specifically those that are involved with the military and law enforcement. We do quite a bit through our foundation for really the children of fallen heroes in both the military and law enforcement arena. But as I said, we have always had such tremendous respect, and anything that we can do and I can continue to do, we want to, because really you all, meaning the sheriff and law enforcement and military, are the heroes in my mind and in our minds, and anything that we can do to support, we will.
Yeah, everything we have is because people that come before us has stood up and done what was right.
That's exactly right, and it takes a lot to do that. I know the sheriff would likely say this as well. When you do go out there, either serving in the military or in law enforcement or in public office, you tend to take quite a lot as a family. There's a lot of sacrifice made, and it's so important that we we recognize that they don't have to do it. They absolutely don't have to run for office, don't have to put their lives on the line in sacrifice for all of us. So anything that I can do to recognize and appreciate and thank them, I will always do.
You brought up that was a part of our conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about running for office and the stress that you're under. And until you've done it, and even in small town Tennessee, even in Lawrence County, people have gotten so disrespectful, and we're getting to a point now where good people that want to be in office, they're not going to run. Mm-mm. Because they get so beat up, by just, it's the norm now. People have gotten complacent with being disrespectful. And what you're going to eventually have is people that are in office that don't need to be there. The wrong people that want the office for the wrong
that's right
reason. And that's what you're going to wind up having if people don't get back to just being respectful,
I've had certain people that were in political office here locally that said that they were self-employed and said that after he got elected, people stopped doing business with him because they got mad about something. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be able to make everyone happy, but no. I mean, isn't it something that the good people, a lot of them are scared to step up and do the right thing.
Yeah. And, I had a sheriff tell me a long time ago, not long after I took office, when I was stressed to the max, and he said, John, he says, you're never, ever going to make everybody happy. So don't even try. Yeah. Don't even try. Just do a good job and keep your nose clean, and let whatever happens. And that was some of the best advice that I ever got,
Well, that's exactly right, John, and I agree with that completely. As long as you stay true to yourself and you don't really go with the wind, that's what makes you an authentic person who's serving for the right reasons. And I can say through our conversations and everything that I've read about you and learned about you, through my own research and also through talking with others, you are exactly that. You're serving for the right reasons. You're an authentic, caring, genuine person who is putting you and your family out there to take some negative criticism that you don't deserve, but it's part of the political game. It's part of the election type of game, but you are doing it for the right reasons. And I can say that I stand behind you in that, because it isn't always the case. There are many people in elected office that aren't doing it for the right reasons, as we well know, either at a local level or at a national level. So when we come across people like you, Sheriff, who are doing it for the right reasons, it's important, and it's important that we speak to that. So that's really why I wanted to join you all today and be a part of this conversation. I'm so thankful that you invited me to be a part of it, because I know that the early election is starting right now today, and then you're going to have your general election. But I do encourage everyone who's listening to look out for people who are doing it for the right reasons, and certainly Sheriff is one of those people.
There you go. John, have you voted?
When I leave here. It opened.
Well, I encourage everyone to get out and early vote today. I know that you have your early voting starting today, and your general election, the primary is on August 6th. But it doesn't hurt to get out and early vote.
That's right.
I'm an early voter. Some people, they want to vote on election day. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm an early voter. I like to get mine. My theory is you don't know where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Come election day.
Yes.
I've always stood in line. All right. And then when I started working here, I did the early voting one time. And I said, nope, I'm early voting from now on. I don't stand in line too much.
It's super convenient. If you work here in town, you can run. They've got a brand new, when I say brand new, they've got a remodeled election office over there. It's a lot bigger than the old one. You can walk right in there, show your ID.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do that.
You got to do that.
You got to show your ID.
That's-
I'm all for
That's
that.
exactly right. And, it doesn't matter if you early vote or if you vote on election day. It's just important that you vote. We talk about that. I know Rush talks about that a lot, and I talk about that quite a bit, is that voting is such an American right. It's an incredible American right that not every country has. And the fact that we can do that, we can go out and have our voices heard and vote for people who we care about and want to see in office, it is a wonderful part of being an American. So really, it's something we shouldn't ever take for granted. We should encourage our young people and children to know why elections are so important at a local level, at a national level. Because it's really part of our American culture, our American rights, and it's a wonderful thing.
And nothing irritates me more is whenever I hear someone complaining and I'll say, "Did you go vote?" And they'll say, "No, I didn't." Well, my thing is, why are you complaining? If you're not going to step up and go vote,
You don't have the right.
No.
You don't have the right to complain if you're not voting. That's how you change things in your community. That's how you make things better.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. The younger we can encourage people to learn about the election system, to learn about why we have the right to vote and why it's so important, the better. Because ultimately that is how we get wonderful people like the sheriff to serve and be in office and be elected, is because we all are out there having our voices heard through voting.
Well, I've been told in the past that I like to stir up a little stink every now and then, Miss Kathryn, and
that's great. You'll get along very well with most of the people that I hang out with. There's a lot of people that like to stir up stink, and Rush was the king of that.
So
I love that.
I've been told, and this may be a rumor that I'm starting, but are you gonna step up and start doing a show like Rush did?
Well, it's very nice of you to say, and a lot of people have encouraged me to potentially do something like that. But to be honest, Rush is irreplaceable, and Rush will always be Rush. But I will do versions of that. I like to go out and meet people like yourself. I love to do things at a local level. So I am sure that I will join radio programs. I don't know if I will necessarily take on a radio program of my own, but I do very much enjoy talking to people, getting to know fellow Americans, and being out there. It's true joy for me.
One of my favorite clips that I got to watch of Rush was I think he got a little bit emotional during this part of it. He had a listener call in and said that the listener said they'd been trying to get in touch with him for a while, and said he's glad he got through. And he said that his grandfather listened to it. His dad, he grew up listening, sitting next to his dad listening to Rush. And he said he was going down the road, and he said his grandfather had passed away and his father had passed away. And he said he heard Rush, and he said it took him back to the times sitting there around his family. And he said, how neat is it that Rush made him think of his family, being together. And he said that's 3 generations of people that were listening to Rush Limbaugh.
Yes, that is so true. It really, many people over the years have told me that Rush was a family member. He was a father figure on the radio. He was a grandfather on the radio. He was a brother, a friend. And I think that is what made Rush so uniquely wonderful, is he really was that for so many people. He had a very personal, direct connection with millions of people that he considered to be extended family, and they also considered him to be that. So we love everyone that listened to Rush. There may be people listening right now that listen to Rush, and we are so very thankful for all of your support and love of the years, and specifically when Rush passed away, there was an outpouring of wonderful people who were experiencing the loss that we did, and I was going through and our family was going through, and we're just so deeply grateful for all of the listeners for so many years.
We have a DJ here at one of our sister stations, and he comes through here in the mornings real early, about 5:45 every morning. And I was talking to him about getting the pleasure of sitting down with you and the sheriff. And he said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Mark, I grew up listening to Rush." He said, "There's not many episodes I missed." And he said, "When he passed, I cried." And he said, "That's not fair. You're getting to sit in there." And I was like, "I'm sorry." But, he affected so many people.
Well, you have to say hello for me. If he's not listening right now, hopefully he's listening. But please say hello for me and thank him.
Yeah, I will. But I'll tell him you enjoyed talking to me more than you would have him. So that's okay.
That's right. You can tell him that for sure.
No, my thing I'm going with this is that he touched so many lives, didn't he?
Yes. Oh, goodness, yes. And Rush was very much the same person on and off the radio, meaning that he was as genuine on the radio as he was off the radio. He sincerely believed everything that he talked about and stood for. Of course, there were plenty of jokes. He was so hilarious, and he always made fun of certain things. But as far as the beliefs and his fundamental values, he 100% was the same on and off the radio. He loved the listeners. He loved the American people. He would often talk about how much people helped him along the way, and he never forgot those people. He really was such a wonderful patriot, but he was also a wonderful man, and he did help so many people on and off the radio. On the radio by encouraging people to be their best possible selves, and off the radio he did so much from a charitable standpoint that was never talked about. He was never looking for recognition, but he gave millions of dollars to organizations that helped others, as well as his personal time, his personal advice. So yes, he touched so many lives. And I think the one other thing I should say is that Rush was such a symbol of what one person can do in our life and in our country. And it starts at the local level. It starts in the home as one individual person making a difference, and that carries through to the larger levels and the national, international levels.
That's exactly right. So what's next for you? What are you doing now?
Well, I'm actually relaunching the book series that Rush and I wrote. It's actually about American history, about some of what we were just talking about, but we're relaunching the Adventures of Rush Revere series, which is time travel adventures with exceptional Americans. It's all about American history, fundamental American values, and it's a book series that Rush absolutely loved writing for younger Americans. So we thought, what better way to celebrate the 250th birthday of our country and also to honor Rush in this very important year. So I'm relaunching the Adventures of Rush Revere series, which is out now, and also doing other things on a project level, which is actually here in Tennessee. So I can't wait to tell you about that at some point when I'm able.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
That is good.
That is good stuff.
It's maybe she'll write a book about talking with me and you.
Well, I'm sure she'll include that. But it'll be the Amish. It'll be the Lawrence County Amish experience.
I'm going to come there to Lawrence County and meet you, and then we'll talk about the book as the next thing.
Yeah, it'll be she's talking about me, it'll be a short story.
I'm sure not. I would love to hear how you got into radio. So we'll talk about that, I'm sure, when we meet.
That'd be great. That would be great. Well, let's talk just a second about you growing up. And it says here that you were raised on 5 different continents. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. My father went to, I'm originally from New England, but my father went to the Naval Academy, and my mother was an American diplomat. So we were raised all over the world, representing the United States, but all over the world. So I came back to the United States when I was in my 20s, or so. We were always back and forth to different places like Washington and Hawaii and other places, but I really came back to live in my 20s. So yes, I grew up all over the world, and I know the sheriff served overseas as well at an American embassy in Baghdad, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, that was in 2011. I was there with a security company.
And in there,
for like a year and a half.
Yes, that was very much my upbringing. We were raised in embassies all over the world, and then came back. But really, there's no place like the United States. And every time we came back, we just said how fortunate we are. There's many wonderful countries out there, but there's no place like the United States.
You're exactly right. That's right. How hard was it, Sheriff, for you to be away from your family while you're over there in Baghdad and stuff like that? You had young children then too, correct?
I did, and that was the deciding factor. Why?
To me, they're still young, but
yeah, they're still young. But yeah, that was the deciding factor why I didn't extend the contract. Is when your little daughter says, "Daddy, it's time to come home." You don't argue with your little daughter. Yeah. But now to answer your question, that it's just a different kind of stress. There's different levels of stress in everything you do, but being over there, it's just a different kind of stress.
To do that is just so symbolic of who you are, Sheriff, because being in law enforcement for over 20 years, as you have been, and also serving overseas and putting yourself into a war type of situation is just incredible. And I can't say enough how appreciative I am for you and for people like you who are willing to put yourselves in harm's way, both there and in the United States in Lawrence County, but also overseas for our, as collective Americans, our safety. It is so incredible and just so deeply thankful.
We are thankful, but here's the thing, though, Miss Kathryn. He chooses to do this. You know what I'm saying? We don't make him do this. I know he's got to be a little crazy to get up every morning.
We all there's a level of craziness.
I'll let you speak to the crazy. I'm not on the crazy
I'm just having fun.
I'll speak to how grateful and thankful I am.
That's exactly right.
It does take a little bit of crazy to put yourself into harm's way, but I would say good crazy.
It is. I have fun with him. He's a real good guy. You can cut up with him, and it doesn't matter where you're at. He treats you the same. That's the truth. But real good guy. But for him to go over there and go through what you went through and be away from your family, it makes you love him that much more when you come home too, doesn't it?
Yes, that's right. But I'm sure there is nothing like coming back to your home and coming back to Lawrence County. I'm sure you were happy to be back.
Yeah, you look forward to that 2 minutes in the airport.
Oh yeah.
When you get off the tarmac and you walk in, and then there's your family waiting on the other side of the gate for you.
I love those. I love the reels.
That's when my daughter was sweet. When she was a little sweetheart.
Oh my goodness.
She's done a 180 since then.
I bet. I'll let you tell her that. Oh boy. I want to talk about you one more time about going at the age of 15. I'm reading that you translated for U.S. military doctors.
Yes, we were living in West Africa, and so nice of you to bring this up. But yes, I lived in West Africa. My mother at the time was serving at an American consulate there in West Africa, a country called Guinea-Bissau, which is very small. Very few people have heard of it. But we were there. We were posted there, and I was 15 at the time, and we were the only American dependents in the entire country. So we got to know the local community very, very well. And my brother and I were really the only American dependents in the entire country. So we didn't have an American school to go to. We studied by correspondence, by homeschool. And in addition to studying in my home, I taught English as a 15-year-old because I wanted the locals to be able to, one, learn English because it was so important for their future, since English is such an important language, but also so that they could learn about the American culture. So when I was teaching English at 15, I was playing songs for them to learn about American artists, and they got to learn American songs and songs in English. So it really was a version of radio way back then, because we played songs in the classroom for them to learn, and that's really how they started learning English. But many of those young students went on to do really well. In fact, one went on to study in the UK and earned a degree and became a UK citizen and speaking fluent English now. So very thrilled with that. That was a huge part of my life that I loved. And then as far as translating for American doctors, American military doctors, I've always loved our American military, so much so that instead of having teeny boppers on my wall, I had pictures of U.S. naval ships and American military. I've always loved our military. So when we had doctors coming to this small country in West Africa, I went with them and was able to translate between Portuguese and English as they were setting up medical field offices in these remote parts of West Africa. And it was such a highlight of my life. I saw these military American strong doctors out there doing such good work. And it just reminded me that the United States is always on the forefront of doing good work wherever they are in the world. And it's so much a part of our spirit. So it was a wonderful time in my life.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That's amazing.
Now, both of you have worked and studied out of the United States. What do you think differs us so much? I'm gonna start with Sheriff. With you being overseas working and seeing how other countries act, how they treat people, how they treat women, what do you think makes America that much better?
Oh, there's a laundry list. I mean, it stretches from here out in the parking lot. The biggest thing is just having the freedom of movement.
Mm-hmm.
The freedom of movement. People that never leave the United States, they have no idea the difficulty of just movement in a third world country without having to go through some kind of a checkpoint or somebody. You know, in America, the law enforcement has to have a reason to detain you. That's not the case in third world countries.
Really?
Yeah, they can pick and choose, and that's probably the biggest difference is just the freedom of movement. Plus, I mean, you live in America. I mean, if your house catches on fire, you call a number, and people will come and put your fire out for you. A lot of the
they don't do that.
There's no fire department. There's no police department. So just having the freedom in this country to start up a business, to go buy a business license, and invent something, you know, to sell it. You don't have that in a lot of the third world countries. Their government overreach is beyond belief in a lot of them. And then the taxes.
Yeah.
You know, when I worked in Kosovo, I had an international staff of about 6 people, and I had a Turk that was part of my international staff, and he was telling me about the taxes in Turkey. It was unreal.
So people complain about here, but they don't know.
If I remember correctly, it was like a 30-something%
Wow.
on everything, whether you bought a stick of gum or a new house. You know, it was.
That's unreal.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's no comparison.
What about you, Miss Kathryn? What do you think comparing America to the other places you visited or other places you've lived?
Well, that's exactly right. What the sheriff was saying, and I think our freedoms are really, really rare. A lot of people say that, oh, our country has a lot of problems, and it's true. We're not 100% perfect, but we're pretty great, and it really is because we have our basic fundamental values and rights, like our freedom of speech. We're able to go out and vote. We're able to speak our minds regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. And we have that freedom that not every place in the world has. And speaking to women's rights, it's funny because in the United States, sometimes there's a voice saying that us women don't have freedoms and rights, but that's not true. I mean, look at so many people within the United States who are women, who happen to be women, that are leading industries, who are top of the tier in different areas of our country. And I think that's so different than many parts of the world. There's many parts of the world where women do not have the rights that we do here. They don't have the opportunity to own businesses. They don't have the opportunity to speak their minds or wear what they want to, and so forth. And I think that's a huge part of being an American, is our basic freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's hugely important. And also, as the sheriff said, the American dream is so very alive, where it isn't in other countries. That's why so many people are wanting to come to the United States, because we have the American dream, where every American, regardless of where you started, regardless of what hardships you encounter in your life, have the opportunity to succeed, have the opportunity to build a business, have the opportunity to better your life through hard work, which isn't always the case in other countries. You may be in a state or a position in life where you can't really advance that. And I think that's what makes our country so different.
That's right. That is right. I have a thing here that also says that you've led by example, encouraging everyone around to strive for their highest potential.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Oh, goodness, yes. I believe that so much. I try to say to everyone who works with me or for me or around me that everyone has the opportunity to advance to the dream that they set out and find the skills that make them truly exceptional. And with everyone that I work with or around me, I try to find that and encourage them to find that, because I do believe that every individual has something truly rare and special, and everyone can go after what makes them truly unique and special. And whatever their dream is, it doesn't have to be my dream, it doesn't have to be your dream, but it can be that person's dream. And if they want to go after it, they should, through hard work, of course, but really realizing what makes them really unique and special and rare. And in this case, the sheriff is an example of that. He is a rare person in terms of that he cares deeply about the community, he cares deeply about law enforcement, and is achieving a high level in being the sheriff there for Lawrence County. So I think that everyone has that opportunity. It's really up to the individual to seek that, to work hard and strive for the goal that they've set for themselves.
See, you beat me to it. I was going to ask the sheriff next. Is that how you want your deputies to do too? You keep pushing them to strive to be better, isn't it?
Hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work. You can't, that's something you can't teach. That's just something that you either have or you don't, and that's all I ask of my deputies is just work hard. You can be lazy.
Yes.
You can be lazy at home.
Mm-hmm.
You can be lazy on your day off, but when you put the badge on and you put the gun belt on and you put the Kevlar on, you work.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right, Sheriff. And I think that shows such strong leadership in you, because that's exactly right, that I think you can teach anyone anything, but you can't teach them to be a good person or a genuine person with authentic, hardworking spirit. You can teach them how to be better at their job, but you really can't teach them those things. And a lot of it is heart and honesty. And I know that you look for that in everybody that you surround yourself with, and that's very important.
And low maintenance. That's what I tell people. If I had to describe the sheriff's department with 2 words, it would be low maintenance. And I think that's what for me, just being a voter, not being Sheriff Myers, but me just being John Myers, when I think of my local government, I want it to be low maintenance. I don't want to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to be concerned with it. I just want to know that they're there and they're doing what they're supposed to do. And there's no investigations, there's no drama, there's no troubles, there's no problems. They just work hard and go home. And that's all I ask of my people, just come in, give me 40 good hours a week and go home,
40 hours.
40 hours a week.
I remember when I used to work part-time. But now here's the thing though, and you were talking about instilling in people how to act, how to behave. A lot of that's in their raising too, though. You know it?
Oh yeah, you see it, and I know I sound like an old man saying this, but the younger generation.
No, but that is so true.
Yeah,
that is so true, and it's sad that that's being lost a little bit in our country. Is that traditional family values, and those things start with parents and start in the home. And I agree with you so much that the older people today, or people that aren't young and in their teens, it really starts with how they were raised and what they learned. And it doesn't necessarily need to be parents, but it does need to be teachers and people of influence around them that they can model themselves after.
Well, Miss Kathryn, I just want to say again, thank you. Thank you for all the kind words. Thank you for taking time out of your day to call down here in little old Lawrence County and come on the radio with us. And I'm gonna extend you an invitation. I'll get with our third party, and I'll make sure you get the invitation. I'd like for you to come down to Lawrence County sometime and visit. It would be good. It'd be good for you. And just to come down here and get out of the busy metropolitan area and come down here to a little small town Tennessee. And
I will warn you though, if you come here, you'll fall in love with it.
Oh, I am sure. I have no doubt about that. I probably will move there. I'm certain of it. I can tell I will. And I thank you so much for letting me join you today. It's been a real joy and pleasure to talk to you both, and to everyone who's listening, and to let me be a part of your morning. I truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And like I say, it's an open invitation here to the morning show. If you do come in, I like sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. What do you like?
Pancakes.
He likes pancakes.
I promise you, I will come bearing gifts. There's no question at all. I will bring a full breakfast for everybody. And I just, as I said, I likely will be doing an event with the sheriff, and I encourage everybody who's listening to go out and vote today in early voting, and of course on August 6th to go out and vote and be proud to be an American with that freedom of being able to vote. It's a wonderful right that we have.
There you go. Miss Kathryn Limbaugh, thank you very much.
Thanks, Kathryn. We'll be in touch.
Thank you both. I appreciate it. Have a great morning.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Beautiful.
That was great.
That was nice.
I tell you what, I told you she was such a genuine person.
The only one thing would have made it better. If it was just me sitting in here talking to her. I'm just
imagine that.
Just having fun.
Imagine that. But she's right. This is early voting. It started this morning. It runs for 2 weeks. And I'm an early voter.
You're going to go vote today?
I've got to go put my dog up, the guy that's mowing my grass. My dog likes to attack his weed eater when he's weed eating.
Okay.
So I got to go put him up, and then I'm going to go vote.
There you go.
But yeah, go vote. Vote for me.
There you go.
Vote for John Myers for sure.
Good to see you again, buddy.
I appreciate you,
There
Mark.
you go. Hey.
We will end. Oops, sorry, I'm loud. We will end with another military clip from Rush that they sent us to play. And just would like to say that this air program was paid for by John Myers for Sheriff.
profoundly appreciative, incredibly appreciative of our military and their families and their sacrifices that they make every single day. They risk their lives for us, and we are eternally grateful. They volunteer to do things that 99.5% of the country would never, ever do.